long today. Do you know?
Yeah, I know. You're like, are
Just
you in
wanna
a
get
rush?
home.
You
Our
get
show
home.
today-
You are home.
is being sponsored by FreeFlow Analytics and FreeFlowAnalytics.com,
Yeah, both of them.
the only platform measuring board power connections and performance for free. They also have a new
Have you seen their new
scorecard. Is that
scorecard
available
thing?
to the public? The scorecard?
It's not, but
right.
it's really fabulous
Well, then why are we talking about it?
because it's fabulous. And
Well,
people
reach
should
out.
know,
Actually,
like,
if you want access to it, maybe reach out and maybe we could set something
I
up.
mean,
for you.
it looks like an ESPN style. Like you can, I'm like hovering over directors' names and their stats are coming up, and like
Yeah,
it's
it's
got their
cool.
skills like built in. You can see
Yeah,
their
I went
skill
to-
rankings.
I actually used it today for Lululemon, which is in the news, and because I really wanted to know, believe it or not, I actually did want to know this, the knowledge, the background knowledge of their directors.
I mean, it was like you like literally, like it's right there. It's fabulous. They're doing good work there. Somebody needs to actually hire them to do something.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You ready? You want to get this going? Story of
Yeah,
the
let's
week?
do it because I know you're hungry and hangry.
Well-
yeah.
The other reality is that we recorded a fabulous crossover show this morning with the shareholder primacy folks.
Yeah, Mike Levin and Ann Lipton. We just next
Some
week's
all
proxy
talked out.
countdown. They're unbelievable. They're smart
They
people.
they are unbelievable. I also saw you and Ann both quoted in the same story today. Responsible investor.
Yeah.
So you
yeah,
you and Ann are at least noteworthy.
no. I think
Quote-worthy.
I think I snuck in there somehow. They were at the bottom of the barrel for quotes.
So let's start with that story that got you quoted, and I'm just going to call this. I'm going to call this 3 from Trump because I
don't like
from
it
my
already.
perspective, all the Trump stories are really it's the same thing. It's a consolidation of either power, government power, or CEO power. It's all the same aim. Everything he does.
You say aim. He's an angry old man who wants everyone to do what he says. That's it,
Yeah,
right? Like it's not an aim.
But his buddies agreed too. His buddies had the same aim. But here are the 3 from Trump. Trump orders SEC to review proxy advisor rules in ESG rebuke.
Meh.
Trump signs executive order for single national AI regulation standard, limiting power of states. And Trump says that the Netflix Warner Brothers deal could be a problem as son-in-law Kushner backs Paramount bid. That's Kushner and some of his Saudi buddies.
Yeah.
So this is
all
the Trump
Saudi
world.
buddies.
Yeah, this is the Trump world. The only one I'm really going to focus on here is the one where he ordered the SEC to review proxy advisor rules. So he actually, this is like, who knows what any of this means. I don't know if it's political theater. I don't know what will come of it. But here's from the New York Times. He directed 3 different agencies to do things to tighten regulations on proxy advisors. SEC was ordered to review rules and guidelines regarding the industry, including revising or rescinding any related to DEI and ESG. It's this constant war against women and people of color. That's this thing.
Yeah. That's
The
that job.
FTC and the Attorney General were directed to examine state antitrust investigations into the companies to see if there was a probable link between those inquiries and potential violations of federal antitrust law. So antitrust of the ISS Glass Lewis peeps, right?
Yep.
And then finally, the Labor Secretary was told to review regulations about the fiduciary duties of proxy advisors and others who advise managers of certain employee retirement accounts.
So I'm a little confused.
Go ahead.
All of this is just theater, right? Like in the end, right?
It's theater.
But I
don't know.
It's designed to put 2 companies they don't like out of business. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you read, so I read the full order. I read the Atkins speech. I
Everything
read
spelled correctly?
I ran it through Gemini, and it appeared to have proper grammar for the most part. They're asking basically, this Trump order is just saying, consider doing a bunch of things. Consider it. We know that consider it means that they will do those things because he's just asking people who do what he says to do what he says.
Yeah, which is
what he's
unusual
asking.
from the executive branch.
And and all of it, and Ann said this on the crossover pod that'll come out next week. All of it is legally spurious, right? Like
Yeah,
there's
because
no legal ground for any of this.
because the dumb guy's point of view here is this, and I will volunteer to represent the dumb guy.
Okay, you're putting your hand up for that one.
Yeah, my hand's always up for that one. Is if ISS and Glass Lewis are merely making suggestions to vote, right? They're giving you some choices, and because the reality is that they don't force you to vote a certain way. Then how could any of this be? How could any of it be legal? No one is being forced. It's always a choice. Always.
Well, not only
you don't have to. In fact, you could take their recommendations and quite easily just say, "Thank you, ISS. Now just do the opposite."
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want as
Yeah.
the client.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can ask ISS to only give you what it is you want.
Yeah,
Like,
which
you don't
if
have
you're a
to do
Trump,
the-
if you're a MAGA person, you vote against women and people of color.
But they are
And vote for
trying to
pay.
say effectively that if you are an asset manager who buys advice from ISS or Glass Lewis, and then you act on that advice, and a different asset manager also buys advice from ISS and Glass Lewis and acts on that advice,
What, you're in
that
collusion?
the asset managers are in collusion. They're trying to say that, which would mean if they both are in New York City and buy pastrami sandwiches at the same deli, aren't they also in collusion? Like,
think-
it's absurd.
Does this mean Colin Kaepernick is going to get a job again?
I don't think we're going to go that far.
No.
Let's dial it back. The
That's-
whole thing is really absurd and not real. And the only outcome, I hope, is that someone votes against a director. Because we said this 2 years ago. They want to take away your rights to vote. They don't. No company wants you to vote on anything. They just want to be left alone. And this is the very steady move, as you said, to consolidation of power.
Right, that's all it is, right? It's
always what
moving
it is.
power to the CEO,
And
who is typically also the chair in many instances in the United States.
so if you're an investor, grow a fucking spine and start voting against directors.
And
That
pay.
is the vote you get.
And
Vote
auditors, I
against
guess.
Everything. Do
Yeah.
not be afraid that your vote is like don't tell me you don't have the time. We have data sets covering 200,000 directors at
Yeah.
Free Flow Analytics. The data is out there if you want it. And you can vote algorithmically, you can vote with your own policy, you can build your own policies. That's the point. Vote
So-
against things.
part of this order says that the ISS and Glass Lewis regularly use their power to advance and prioritize radical, politically motivated agendas. Now, we make the point all the time that while yes, maybe me, maybe you, maybe we're to the left of the political spectrum, but the data is nothing. The data is
matter.
not politically
Doesn't-
motivated.
Yeah.
It doesn't
vote.
advance. It doesn't do anything. It's just how you use the data. You could very easily use the data at freeflowanalytics.com to push a MAGA agenda. So in and of itself, it is all bullshit. There's
The one thing that I think that this order in particular
Yeah.
says that is real is they included in here considering the rescission of any rules that advance quote unquote ESG policies, right? There's a G in ESG.
yeah.
That's all the rules. That literally the way every company is structured. They're suggesting that if you, and this already Ann pointed out in the crossover pod that in Texas, they already made this a law. If you actually look at the ballot of a company, that's G.
Yeah.
That might be collusion. That
Well,
might be
how about
fraud.
this?
That might be all these things.
How about this? My next story is about CEO moves. As an example, Lululemon, which is in the middle of a succession process because they couldn't come up with one first, right? What if you voted in protest of their bungled CEO succession planning process, which is now putting two interim co-CEOs in place while they search for a replacement? That's a G issue.
That's
it's
a G.
Massive G issue.
It's all G, right?
Right.
What they're really saying is we do not want you to
have a voice.
have a voice at all. And
Yeah.
as Sarah Hahn, the law professor out of Brooklyn, has said before, what happens in the business world when we elect business leaders in the federal democracies, wherever you are, they tend to take the same tricks from the business world and
Of course.
apply them in the
Well,
federal democracy.
That's all the Doge was, right? It was neutering
All it
regulatory
is.
agencies.
So you're seeing the same thing. This is exactly what's been happening in the business world over 20 years. And
Bye
mostly
bye
because
EPA, bye bye
inve-
Department of Education, bye bye
investors
NPR.
investors are so feckless. They're so cowardly
Or
that
they love money.
but there is no proof. In fact, the proof suggests that engagement with companies and governance are the only
Actually
things
helps.
that correlate with outcomes, right?
Yeah.
Like when
Right.
you're talking about pure data,
Yeah.
everything else there is no correlation, and you can't say causation because nobody actually knows causation. So everyone who
course.
says like, "Well, prove to me that it causes it," you can't either.
No,
can't
you
prove
can't.
that like the PE
All right.
ratio causes the stock to go up. It's
No.
there is no causation. In which case, all we're really doing is taking off the table the only thing that investors have
Well-
ignored. They view it as an expense. They view it as something they don't want to do. It's too big. It's unwieldy. The stewardship teams at these companies, they've got 10,000 portfolio managers and 3 people who are supposed to evaluate every company in the world for their governance structures. It's nuts. It's
This
bananas.
is the most disheartening part of the entire Trump world, really, is this faux populism that is just consolidating power for very few people. But let's move on.
Oh, fine.
Fine. That's 3 from Trump. That's the first story of the week. The second one is CEO moves. The 2 big moves this week, Coca-Cola names insider Enrique Braun as CEO, replacing James Quincy. I'm only pointing that one out because Quincy will transition to the role of executive chair.
Oh, wah.
So that's a nothing story. But I wanted to focus on the other one. Lululemon, Athletica, CEO Calvin McDonald is stepping down. Part of this story, which is nauseating, is that that his tenure has been criticized by the company's founder, Chip Wilson, as one of the main shareholders. I always hate when the founders stick around and spout
just say
off.
stuff.
Yeah.
You're just sort of standing in the back.
But here's why I wanted to talk about Lululemon, because it is my contention that it is time for a woman to take over this company. Well, first, before I get to that, I went to the scorecard at Free Flow and I looked at the board's background knowledge. Here's another one of the problems with this company. Here, economics and accounting represents 34%, mechanical 19%, computers and electronics 12%. I mean, sales and marketing is only 5% at a company that sells pointless, like yoga pants and stuff. So this is already a problem, and this is some of the great insight you can get at Free Flow Analytics. But I have a short list of women that they could pick from to make this easy for the whole world. So I hope the world's listening.
You did the work for them.
I hope they're listening. One of the people they could pick as the next CEO is one of the interim co-CEOs, because this company, their governance is so crappy that they couldn't even have a succession plan in place, despite the fact that the founder has been angry at the CEO for a while. But CFO Megan Frank, she could be a candidate, right? We've seen a lot of CFOs elevated to CEO role. Here's a possibility. How about board chair? Wait, did I get that wrong? Is this a man before I even say this out loud?
Wait, which Megan?
Marty.
Oh, Marty Morfitt.
Yeah. Is Marty Morfitt a man?
You're asking me. I think Marty Morfitt is a human.
No, I'm right. Marty. Yeah. Martha Marty Morfitt. She's the executive chair of Lululemon. She was the CEO of River Rock Partners, Airborne CNS. She's we've seen a lot of chairs going promoted to CEO recently. That's a perfectly fine choice. How about another director on their own board, Allison Lonis? She was the former president and interim CEO of Yoox Net-a-Porter Group. It's a luxury fashion group. I don't know what the hell they do, but it's perfect, right? And then finally, I was poking around for other CEOs in related fields. How about Levi Strauss CEO Michelle Gass? I mean, Lululemon its market
They're
cap
pants, right? It's a lot
is
of
three
pants.
times the size of Levi Strauss. There you go. There's an outside option right there. I giving you that's it. There is no reason the next CEO shouldn't be a woman. That's it.
You
That's all
wanna
I'm saying.
you wanna know this is
I'm
this
taking
is an
credit for everything.
epic case study in
Taking
why the
credit.
people matter because Cal McDonald
Hmm.
clearly cannot do succession planning on his own, right? Like the board didn't do it, he
Or
didn't do it,
he
they
didn't
didn't
want to
have
do
any
it.
plan. Do you know what board Calvin McDonald was on?
Tell me.
Disney. He was on Disney during
Is he?
Chapek.
Oh, really?
He's off
Oh,
now.
he's off the board.
But he was on it for the Chapek leave, Iger come back, Chapek get picked. Like these skills are apparent. If you screw it up in one place over there, the chances that you screw it up somewhere else kind
This
of
is
high.
It's one of the areas of governance that we cover that maddens me the most is that they never get blamed for bungling succession, and we've seen how expensive succession is because they're throwing huge packages at outsiders now to bring them in. Sometimes these people are staying for like 1 to 2 years, and then they're spending money on the way out, money on the way in. It's just like it's a nightmare, and they don't get no flack. So let's hope that this proxy season, now that investors don't have shareholder proposals to waste their time, maybe they can.
Yeah, waste
All right, so
time
that's
reading
that's
stuff.
the second story of the week. There's some big CEO moves. The third story. I thought I'd just drop this one in there just because I just didn't like it. Disney wants you to AI generate yourself into your favorite Marvel movie. Disney is investing $1 billion in OpenAI and allowing its characters to be used in generated videos. This is what the world is coming to, I guess. This is where we're heading.
You know, not only did they invest 1 billion, but there was another headline that where Iger basically said Google with their Gemini AI is the biggest copyright infringement in history.
Right.
So they invest in OpenAI for a
And
billion
went after the competitor.
and went after the competitor immediately. Meanwhile, OpenAI outright copyright infringement everywhere, right? Like they
Yeah.
stole all sorts of stuff. In fact, there were reports like 3 years ago that they had groups in Africa who were like feeding illegal books and like movies to OpenAI to actually generate, its training. So what are you doing, Iger? Like, really, you put $1 billion in, and now we're gonna go walk around and we're gonna hear Bob Iger says all sorts of shit about the other AI companies suck now. Is that what we're gonna hear?
Speaking of bungled succession, they also just brought on former Apple COO Jeff Williams to the Disney board, who used to be the man that they thought would be the successor to Tim Cook. So it's a little interesting.
Well, Tim Cook is going to retire, air quote, to the executive chair position,
Right.
much like James Quincy at Coca-Cola. Executive chair is the new retirement because it means you don't have to like get on shareholder calls anymore. You do get paid the same amount as a CEO, and they just like they just show up to board meetings. What is that? It's such a nice gig.
That's the third story of the week. And finally, the fourth story of the week is one that I've been like warning everyone about for years. And now it's finally a story, unfortunately. So I had to make note of it. Tech billionaires are starting private cities to escape the United States. This story quotes Coinbase CTO Balaji Srinivasan, who shared his vision for the ultimate exit by tech industry elites from the failing United States. He said, I think it's fair to say in 2025 we have a movement, and that movement is the rise of startup societies, a pro-corporate, anti-government coalition of tech magnates, libertarian idealists, and neoliberal economic theorists, which actually sounds like the current United States, really, right? I mean, isn't that who's in power in the U.S.? And then the Financial Times saying that there are already as many, they think, as 120 of these startup societies going on throughout the world. So remember, I warned about CEO city states. I kind of joked that the future would be that we would kind of evolve from these kind of democratic sovereign societies, and we would quickly kind of we would get to the point where you would move to a city state controlled by a CEO, right, or a magnet, like a business
Well,
magnet.
I should say I read about this guy before
Yeah.
this accidentally. I ended up down some rabbit hole. He's effectively tried to start his own country, and he's talked about this since like the early 2010, like
Okay.
2013 or something. This has been his thing. This is also a guy who grew up in Long Island and
Uh-huh.
got 3 degrees from Stanford. Like,
Uh-huh.
so I don't know exactly how the United
Benefited from the
States.
United
Yeah,
States.
I don't know how the United States failed you, asshole. Like, you
just-
managed to get 3 fucking
Unbelievable,
degrees
yeah.
and become like a
Unbelievable.
millionaire or a billionaire in this country.
Yeah.
Can't do it in other countries, right? Like, but you're complaining.
like
Congratulations on your complaint.
This is like the ultimate statement of like destroying stakeholder value everywhere.
It's like these
We
assholes.
don't wanna
like
share.
they're perfectly happy to use everything to
Yeah.
get where they are, and then say it all sucks.
And and one of the reasons why I picked these last two stories is because Time, a lot of articles about how Time Magazine picked the person of the year were these dopey heads of AI companies like Jensen Huang and
The
Mark
person-
Zuckerberg,
look, Time
Elon Musk.
Time needs to go back and actually look at the fact that just about everyone they picked like went to Stanford. Isn't the person of the year Stanford? Like it is techno
Or
libertarian
dropouts.
Stanford.
Yeah, yeah.
What is happening on that fucking campus that everyone who
I
walks
don't
off
know.
of
It's
it
weird, right?
is only interested in it's the most insular, like Palantir's board is all Stanford people and people who work there are all Stanford people. Why do they only coexist with each other? Like they're the most insular bubble. It's
It-
the uber elites, and they're the ones talking about how the elites suck. I don't
It is
understand.
amazing that after all that, they still managed to find a Stanford alum and put her in jail. But of course, it was a woman, Elizabeth Holmes. Like, she's the only
Well,
one
she didn't
who's
graduate. That's,
okay. But
yeah.
but I'm just saying she's from the Stanford like ecosphere or whatever. And man, I should call it the broosphere or whatever
it
it
is
is.
bros. It's all
But they
bros.
did pick her as the only fall guy for all this nonsense. But anyway, those are my 4 stories of the week. Why don't you weigh in?
The story of the week has to be. I would like to pick Lululemon's
Yes.
CEO succession
on.
because that's like in our wheelhouse.
Because I'm taking credit for one of those 4 women.
You know what? I am going to choose that. I'm going to
What?
choose that. I am
Why?
going to. I'm going to
Because of the
choose it-
board skill, it demonstrated our board skills
because,
data.
Because look, the orders from Trump are pure political theater, right? Like, and I feel
Well,
like
except
every
for the
time.
yeah.
Every time we choose one of those, even the one where we're talking about AI regulation,
But that's
you
a
know, like,
consolidation of CEO power, no?
yeah, but it's also not necessarily legal. Like, isn't this the party
True.
of
None of
states'
it's-
rights? Right?
none of
Like,
it's necessarily
so
legal.
none of it's actually legal. It's just a guy. It's basically an old guy on the biggest porch in the world telling everyone to get off his fucking lawn. That's every
Yeah.
executive order right now is just that. And Disney investing
And make
in
my family
OpenAI
richer at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, simultaneously. Disney investing in OpenAI is just assholes investing in assholes, and it's all the rage and whatever. I don't care about that. Tech billionaires starting private cities is kind of old news. They've lived
don't know.
in like
I don't agree
no,
with you.
I'm saying like the conversation is old news.
Sure,
Like
sure.
they have been trying to start these cities for a really long time. It's in every dystopian fiction novel, which by the way, you know that the novels that you're basing your theories on
Will
were
all come true.
dystopian,
Yeah,
right? Like they
dystopian.
weren't
Matt,
utopian,
Matt,
they
we
were
started
dystopian.
we started off the year with a literal image of a CEO with a chainsaw who was like gleefully like cutting out government programs. So that's why I picked this story, because this is happening. This
Who
is
then
happening.
said just this week said that Doge was maybe a little successful and he wouldn't do it again, right?
Yeah,
Like,
because he generally seems to suck at the things he tries to accomplish.
he's not actually that good. He's not a
except
super
for like
genius.
driving up the share price of a meme stock that is Tesla.
Which leaves me with
Yeah, go ahead. Just pick a story.
Lululemon
Why?
and CEO succession, because the other
Okay,
ones
all
are
right,
like,
fine,
like
fine.
I just feel like, the CEO succession thing is, as we take away shareholder rights, like this is why you need those shareholder rights. This
Yeah.
is why you need to pay attention to who Calvin McDonald is when he's on the Disney board and he sucks Succession. Then he goes to he's the CEO of Lululemon and he sucks there too.
Look,
We're surprised.
I'm going to be angry if they don't have a woman run this company for a company that sells to women.
It's going to be
In a year where they've been promoting CFOs to CEOs, they've been promoting chairs to CEOs. This is if they don't do it now, then I know that the fix is in.
I think they'll have a woman,
Fix is
but
in.
she'll be one of a tri CEO.
Better
It'll
have
be
a
co CEO.
All right,
situation.
let's move on.
All right, let's get over to Goodliest. I have one, and it's not super good,
Actually, it might be good.
but I like it anyway. You go first because you got two.
I got two great ones. We've had a marvelous run of women winning elections in America in the last month. We have another one, another incredible one, which really just it's a bit mind blowing this is even happening. I hope this is a harbinger for what's going to come up in future U.S. elections. But Eileen Higgins will be Miami's first ever woman mayor.
Yeah, I like that.
Not only that, but she beat the son, a nepo baby of the former mayor. So she beat Republican Francis Suarez, who's the son of the former Miami mayor, which is already
That's
difficult.
already great. Everything's great.
And and this is a political aside. She is the first Democrat in 30 years, but that's not really the point here. But I just want to tell you that this is what it takes for a woman to be in power in America, unfortunately. Because I want to just quickly describe their backgrounds. Eileen, she has a BS in mechanical engineering, MBA from Cornell. She was the country director of the Peace Corps in Belize, Foreign Service officer for the U.S. Department of State. She was a Miami-Dade County commissioner, blah, 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 blah. The other guy was basically a lawyer specializing in corporate and real estate transactions, the son of the former mayor. Right? I mean,
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
it's nuts.
So that's good.
I like
That's a
that
good one.
story. That's a
The
good
second
story.
one, which is also just seems good, I guess, until it gets to the Supreme Court. U.S. court strikes down unlawful. To your point about all of his dumb executive orders, U.S. court strikes down unlawful Trump ban on wind energy projects. So they struck down his executive order, which was aimed at freezing new wind energy development across the country. And this federal court agreed with 18 state attorneys general, saying that the executive order was arbitrary and capricious and contrary to law, which is really
law.
what we talked about before with the stuff against the proxy advisors, right?
Yeah, there's no law.
Completely
There's no
capricious.
basis in law.
Yeah.
It's political theater. All right, mine is much simpler.
Go ahead.
I saw this headline and it made me feel good. Nintendo's 98% staff retention rate means the average employee has been there 15 years.
Now look, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I know it's Japan, and
Yeah,
I know
nowhere
there are
else to
cultural
work.
differences and the way like work
Even if they're suffering,
culture
they'll stay at the
is.
job.
I'm just saying, 98% staff retention at a successful
It is a
global
video
company.
game company too.
Yeah, they make video games.
Could be fun.
People like staying there enough that the average employee has been there 15 years.
Look, here's my point of view on this, and I think it's a different way of covering this CEO pay ratio issue. Is that the CEO pay ratios in Japan are notably low, right?
Lower than here.
No, they're notably low. I mean, even compared to like Western Europe, and you could make the case that could be part of the high retention rate. I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
All I know is that people get a job and they work for that company and they're loyal to that company. And I don't care what you have to say about Japan and production and issues that they have in Japan, like we don't have issues here. What they don't have is trillionaires in Japan.
Well, that's
right?
my point. Is they don't have this blowhardy CEO who's making like 500, making as much, during his morning Danish than you make all year. He's not famous. You don't read about all his like houses and his girlfriend, and so maybe that is part of keeping employees happy. I don't know. It's just throwing it out
I'm just saying it made me feel good because it's like
I like that one.
the thing, the thing that whatever thing they have going on there, they have not glorified, fetishized founders
Exactly,
and billionaires.
exactly.
That
Yeah.
like it, they fetishize loyalty and retention. Like I
Yeah.
like that. I like
All
that.
right.
It makes me feel good.
It's good. Now
right.
bring us down. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to assholes. Well, I did something. Obviously, every week I do something a little bit different. This
Yeah.
week I have I have an honorable mention, asshole, and I'll do that one
Okay.
first. But then I'm going to read to you just headlines, and there's, I don't know, 7, 10, 12 of them maybe.
Yeah.
And it's a category I'm calling just saying, and it's which
Just
person,
saying.
which dude saying a thing is the bigger asshole this week. Which
Do I get to
thing that
play?
they said.
So I pick up out of these 7 headlines.
You're going to pick out of these headlines the assholiest thing to say this
Oh,
week.
got
Just
it.
saying.
Let's do it.
But first, let's do the honorable mention. The honorable mention for asshole of the week is Red Pill Apple. I do mean Apple, the company.
Okay.
You pulled a story. Former Meta CLO joins Apple as new general counsel.
Chief
This is one
legal
of the-
officer. Okay.
Chief legal officer. This is one of those stories that literally no one reads. Like
Except for us. Yeah.
not there isn't a person that cares about this outside of like other chief legal officers and us, right? Like
Yeah.
that's it. That's the whole world. The chief legal officer at Meta that they're talking about is a woman named Jennifer Newstead. She was at Meta from 2019. She actually was a prior appointee of Trump during his first term, Trump 1.0,
Okay.
at the Department of State, and had to go through confirmation hearings. So not like a small bit part of the Department of State.
Sure.
She was appointed by Trump. She is way back in the day, partially credited with drafting the Patriot Act,
Oh,
Bush
uh-oh.
Jr.
Yeah.
That now refresh my memory because it was like 2003. That was the act where they allowed the U.S. to spy on everybody, right?
Yeah. It's
that
kind of
was
like the beginning of the end, was it not?
the beginning of basically. It was like the Palantir,
Oh.
original Palantir was the U.S. government, right?
Yeah,
Like
because
they-
I always, to all my friends who are constantly like hand wringing about the current administration, I was like, oh, don't worry about it. Actually, most of this was started by Bush. Like,
Yeah.
we're just on a trajectory. Like,
this
so
is
yeah,
25 years old.
don't
What are you
forget your
worried about
history
now?
here. Yeah.
Normally, this move no one would pay attention to, but we are going from Meta, which effectively used data, weaponized data, and like user anger in order to sell advertisements better,
Yeah.
right?
Destroying adolescents.
She was involved in fighting the antitrust suit against Meta and won
Yeah.
that
Which-
suit.
Just one, yeah.
And now she is moving to Apple, where Tim Cook is showing up at every Brofest Trump dinner with
Yeah.
Musk and Huang. There's pictures
Something
of
we didn't
Jensen
expect.
Huang and Musk and Satya Nadella and
That
Tim
we
Cook
expected, yeah.
standing outside, like around their cars, chatting after dinners with Trump.
They're all
It's
wearing the same
basically-
outfit too. Yeah.
It's basically tech lords just hanging out together.
Yeah.
They brought in what the most, like, I wouldn't call her a villain, right? She's a lawyer, but maybe one of the most
Doing Mark's
uh,
biddings.
she kind of knows how the system works to get it to functionally spy on
Yeah.
everybody else and make it legally okay.
I mean,
like,
forgive me for not knowing any names because I'm not a Star Wars nerd, but I am conjuring up an image of those like Star Wars movies where there's a bunch of like middlemen beneath
Yeah,
the evil
exactly.
emperor. Like they're just
Yeah.
doing the biddings. Like
you're
they're just
you
they're
make sure,
keeping the evil empire moving forward.
but this is a company, Apple, which sold. I mean, I got served this advertisement of like these bird-like cameras from Apple, and Apple saying like ours, they sell privacy that destroy like everyone watching you on your phone and stuff. They sell privacy. They are supposed to be the adult in the room. Now
Supposed to
Tim
be,
Cook
yeah.
is showing up and licking the boot of he gave him a fucking golden
Yeah, what was that? A
record
golden
or
what?
whatever
Yeah,
the
what
fuck
did
he
it
gave
give
him.
him? A golden
I don't know,
coin
some
or
golden
yeah.
scroll. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
So weird.
stupid.
Yeah.
But they're kissing Trump's ass. They're basically
All right, that's your honorable mention. Your honorable mention is that the Meta chief legal officer is somehow for some reason
Apple.
going over to Apple.
yeah. Apple is my honorable mention.
Hmm.
What asshole over there is like, you know what we need? Meta's lawyer.
Oh.
That's what we need. All right, let's play Just Saying. Okay,
Let's do
Just
it.
Saying. I'm gonna read the headline, and you can. Why don't we do this? You can rate on a 0 to 10 scale how asshole it is,
Let's go.
and then
on.
we'll
Ready.
we'll see what won. First up,
Do it.
This is RJ Scaringe.
I've heard this
who
name a lot. Who is RJ
He's the
Scaringe?
CEO of Rivian. He recently
right.
got a mini Musk pay package and can
Yes.
afford. And I want to note something. RJ Scaringe can afford a secretary. Okay, here's the
And by the
headline.
way, before we get to the headline, when you say mini Musk pay package, yes, compared to Musk, it's like mini, but
Right,
compared
right.
to the rest of the literal planet, it is obscene.
Yeah, it was a billion, like
Obscene.
a multi-billion dollar pay package.
And
But
mind you,
it wasn't a
uh,
trillion-dollar pay
mind
package.
you, selling stupid cars that we've already had on the road,
Which
for
is how
100
Musk
years.
makes his money. It just seems like
Yeah.
everybody who sells a stupid car now wants
Yeah.
all
All
the
right. Go
money.
ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the headline. Rivian CEO said self-driving cars shouldn't be able to drive, but also run errands for you like a secretary.
Okay.
0 to 10. How just get triggered.
You know what? Unfortunately, it's not going to be as high as you want it to be. This is just
I want to start off soft.
this is just a 5 for me because mostly what I'm just thinking about is why are we descending into this world where we don't do anything ourselves anymore? I'm already angry at my neighbors, and I don't even live in a rich neighborhood, but I'm angry at some of my neighborhoods, some of my neighbors who they can't even buy a rake anymore. Like I got to listen to the sound of these like
You've
why
hated
can't
that
people do things why can't they do things for themselves?
as long as I've known you.
Why can't they
there's
run-
something about Leaf?
But there's also something
sounds.
nice about running your own errands and just like seeing people getting out, not like relying on. I don't know. I don't
I'm
like
excited
this. I don't like how humanity is descending this way. I don't like it.
I'm excited to see a car like pull up and get you a donut somehow.
Right, I don't need that.
Like, what does it even do?
I don't need that.
All right, here's the next one. This quote's from Joe Lonsdale. He was a Stanford graduate. Okay?
Uh-oh, 8. Yeah.
Palantir co-founder
Ugh.
calls elite college undergrads a loser generation
Oh
as
wait.
data
yeah.
reveals rise in students seeking support for disabilities like ADHD.
Wait. So this isn't even Alex Karp. This is his.
This is the co-founder.
Now they're a loser generation. Let's not forget that the medical field has just found new ways of diagnosing, and they're paying attention to these issues. These issues were always there, right? So
Correct.
it's not like there are new losers. They're just
They're-
they're taking advantage of a system that is meant to help us, which is what executives do, right? They take advantage
we-
of systems, don't they?
But I don't understand the link between elite college undergrads
Oh.
and ADHD. What are you talking? Are you saying
I don't
elite
know.
college undergrads have more ADHD?
They're the losers.
They're the
Why-
losers. Who's the
According
loser?
to Alex Karp and Joe Lonsdale, everyone's a loser, right?
And Joe Lonsdale, you went to fucking Stanford.
Yeah.
That's an elite college.
Right. I don't know.
Which
I mean, look, these guys are the worst. This is a solid 7. There
a 7.
was also
All right.
something that so I read something of Alex Karp saying that he basically wants to he wants to like
Oh, save
add
it.
to the yeah.
I'll
Okay,
come
all
back
right.
to it.
Okay.
All right,
That-
here's your next one. This quote is from Cracker Barrel customers. With it,
Oh.
like noting that the
I'm
average
already out on this one. Yeah.
the average age of a Cracker Barrel customer is about 340 years old, right? Like they're ancient.
I don't
the-
even know who goes.
The
there, but yeah.
headline is I'm going to have to give you the quote after this. The headline is Cracker Barrel diners are sounding the alarm. Here's what reportedly has them furious.
Is this
here's
from
a quote-
Fox Business? God,
Here's a
Fox.
quote. Yes, it is. Here's a quote from the article. One of those customers, 73-year-old Craig Watkins of Northern California,
Oh,
told
Craig.
the
Yeah, I know
Journal
Craig.
told the Journal he's watched the chain's quality fade and wants old staples and original maple syrup restored.
Well, that's expensive.
Quote, I want pure syrup on pancakes, not that watered down junk, he said, adding that he brings his own maple syrup when he visits. Craig, you know that pure maple syrup, that's pretty woke, right?
Yeah, he sounds like a leftist because if it wasn't for the subsidies for the corn industry, we probably wouldn't have that disgusting.
You wouldn't have
syrup,
it. There
right?
wouldn't be anything else, right? Like,
Yeah.
so you're asking for the woke maple syrup. I just want to be clear. But how does that treat you? You're like, I
There are
want
a lot
my
of-
pure maple syrup.
Honestly, there are actually a lot of articles on Cracker Barrel this week. It's all a trigger because they're talking about like getting more in touch with their Southern heritage and
I saw
NASCAR
that.
and football and the military. And I'm just like, wait, isn't that why your company was failing in the first place? Like,
Yeah, none of those people bought your shit.
This is the perfect representation of the mess of the political theater that is the anti-DEI, anti-ESG world, because it's all nonsense, right? Because again, the company was already failing, so removing a potentially racist image from the sign, which is not, I'm not suggesting the image was racist or not, but I'm just saying, like, getting rid of the heritage
The
Uncle
sign
Herschel.
wasn't the problem.
Exactly.
That's
Thank
the
you.
point.
Thank
the sign
you.
wasn't the problem.
The whole
But,
thing is just pure idiocy.
Craig Watkins is just saying, what do you feel?
I mean, I don't feel totally triggered by this. It's just stupid. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3. Oh, that was lower than I thought.
It's the
All right.
stupidest. It's the stupidest thing.
Here's Mark Cuban,
Oh.
billionaire, talking.
Yeah. He loves.
Billionaire.
He's becoming like a mini Jamie Dimon. He's always telling you things.
Oh, here's the thing he's telling you now.
Yeah.
Just saying. Billionaire Mark Cuban says,
Said. Oh, I love that when they says things.
if you want to get rich, give things up. Drink water instead of coffee. Eat mac and cheese, not McDonald's. Save every penny.
Yeah, it's like a folksy way of yeah. I don't
Here's
know.
my problem. Mac and cheese is not less expensive than McDonald's. McDonald's is the
No.
shittiest, cheapest thing you can get, isn't it?
By the way, I just think that's like the wrong. I think that's the wrong perspective on all, and that's not how a majority of people get rich, is it?
It's also, it blames you for
Yeah.
eating McDonald's instead of mac and cheese for not being a billionaire. Like,
Yeah,
I
and-
don't.
and
That's not
having
why
that-
you're not a billionaire.
And most reports, especially in 2020, have said that the reason for the increase in like millionaires and billionaires is because of things like dopey, like things like crypto, right?
Crypto, but also like equity stakes.
Okay,
right?
but it's
Like,
it's not like it's not like not drinking coffee.
It's not brewing a coffee in the morning and having
Yeah.
a cup of water instead.
But nice
That
try,
didn't do
Mark.
it.
He's always trying to be like on the side of like a
I
populist
like
kind of
Mark
dude.
Cuban. I don't want.
Look, I would take him
but
over the
come on,
current
stop
president if I
saying-
wanted a blowhard CEO, but I don't necessarily need him like telling me how to live my life. But
Right, give me a
yeah, go
number.
ahead. Oh yeah, I don't hate Mark either, so I'll give it a 5.
A 5. I'm not doing well here, but
No.
I think I'm going to pick it up. Jim Cramer, CEO sycophant.
Yes.
There's a headline. Billionaires won't save you, says Jim Cramer. They're out for themselves and never apologize for their negativity.
I'm glad you picked this one because I actually almost included this in Gladius of the Week because I thought maybe Jim and I were aligned. But his point is actually a bit more complicated, which is don't listen to their like anti-equity or anti-market bluster. And like don't listen to their fear mongering and like get out of certain stocks and that, because really they're just trying to manipulate the market and get richer, right? They're trying to like depress the share price so they can buy more of it. I thought he was talking about more from like a Elizabeth
Populist
Warren
stand-
point of
yeah.
view, like
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
No, he's not. He's not. But he also is, his trade is to talk to CEOs all day and not like
his
you
trade
know,
is
like,
bullshit.
he basically goes on his shows and talks about how great CEOs are all the time, right?
Is
Like,
there must be someone. Remember how there was that kid that used to track Elon Musk's jet?
yeah.
Is there someone who has tracked every Kramer like
somewhere, I'm sure. Yeah.
trade to see like if this guy actually knows what he's talking about?
He did he makes money. I know he makes money.
Okay,
but like it
fine,
helps
but
when you
investing
talk to
in the stock
CEO.
market. But if you just like Warren Buffett used to say, if you just invested in the stock market at the same time that Jim Cramer started his show, you'd be making a lot of money too, right?
I
mean,
didn't say he makes more money than the market does. I said
Oh.
he makes money. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. What do you give me a number here?
Again, I don't. This guy has
Nothing.
Still a 5.
5. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, let's try this one then. Sam Altman.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. this'll trigger me.
who conveniently forgot that for 10,000 years, 20,000 years, humans have raised babies.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. This was one of my headliniest. I'm going to cross it off right now. Go ahead.
They've done this already.
This is
Here's
the
the
worst.
headline.
Yeah.
Sam Altman makes his late night debut, says he can't imagine, quote, figuring out how to raise a newborn without Chat GPT.
Yeah, this is dangerous rhetoric, but unfortunately, like we're already on the slippery slope is already here. This is a 9. First of all, I gotta think. Has Sam ever heard of a library?
well, forget a library.
I mean, there are paid professionals who like collect knowledge, sources of like knowledge that help people make decisions like raising kids.
but
There are
prior,
doctors and psychologists who've put out hundreds of books about raising children. They're great. They're fantastic.
it turns out you don't even need a book to raise a baby. You
That's
just
true too.
make sure you feed it and take care of it.
That's true
Like,
too, but I'm just saying, like
What are
this is
we
the
doing?
scariest part of this modern AI age is that now we're relying on these sources,
Look-
these AI agents that get everything wrong. That you don't actually do the reading; it summarizes things for you. It's just like this is bad.
Yeah, but the AI agent is taking those books and spitting shit out, and they're bad.
Getting a lot of
the
it
books,
wrong.
Writing 6,000 books about raising babies, also not great. You know the best way
don't agree
babies
with
ever
that,
got
but-
raised historically? In
What?
communities. It was a family
Okay,
and a
that's
community
fine.
raising a baby. And it
Fine.
didn't have to be a community of a mom and a dad.
You're
and
taking
2.5
this somewhere
kids.
different. You're taking
I'm
this
just
somewhere
saying,
different.
like,
I'm looking
for,
at purely at where he says where you get your knowledge is the troubling
I'm just
part.
saying, for literally 20,000 years,
Yeah.
we have raised babies and have human civilization.
I agree with you, but the bigger point here is what the subtext of what Sam is saying is that you can't that we
Yeah,
can't accomplish anything if we rely on our own brains.
Yes,
we
that's-
quickly
I
need
agree
to
with that.
move to taking out our
Entirely.
brains and putting in like some version of a smartphone in our skulls
Yeah, I
that can
think it's the
figure stuff
worst.
out for us. Because
I can't believe you're only a 9. That's like a
All right.
20 for me.
well,
I
I'm,
hate
I'm
him.
waiting if there's any worse.
All right. I'm gonna go to this one because I want a 10 now. Now I'm not even worried about.
Yeah.
All right, Alex Karp,
Ugh.
who is clearly desperate to just stay in the headlines. Here's the headline: Palantir CEO says legalizing war crimes would be good for business.
Yeah, well, this is not desperate to stay in the headlines. This is because the dopes over at New York Times who fetishize CEOs, this is part of the interview from the Deal Book conference, is it not?
I believe so. Yeah.
This is an interview he was giving to a New York Times reporter. This is how nefarious this jerk is that he's gleefully spouting this stuff off on a stage with a New York Times reporter. Like,
I mean,
he
I'm
loves
sure that-
war.
I'm
He
sure
just
that
loves
he's-
war.
I'm sure that he would say like I was making a joke. Obviously, I'm exaggerating.
No, he's
and, like,
not making a
people
joke.
laughed or whatever. But the
No,
reality
he said
is,
this. No. Here's why it's not. I know it's not a joke. He's not going to say that because in a letter to shareholders this year, he quoted a man who argued that the rise of the West was not made possible by the superiority of its ideas or values or religion, but rather by its superiority in applying organized violence.
yeah, yeah,
He loves this.
yeah. That's
This is his
isn't that
thing.
that's the Conan Barbarian, Robert E. Howard, like viewpoint of the world, right? Like
Yeah, and his- and
organized
the-
violence is
and
the only thing.
And at the same time has benefited from a quote unquote, from an elite world and an elite university system. His entire board is from elite institutions, and yet he's
Stanford.
shitting on elite people. I guess because he wants to stay friends with the potential army that he's going to need of people who didn't go to elite colleges. Because elite college graduates don't join the army. They don't
join
fight
the army.
wars.
Yeah, they don't.
So I don't.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy is the worst. This is like easily a 10. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, I'm
Yeah.
glad I skipped right to that one.
I mean, Sam Altman, to be fair, probably should be a 10. But go ahead. What do you got?
The last one I have is you're gonna give it a 2. You're not gonna care. But Bob Iger's word salading of his investment in
Yeah, I wanna hear
OpenAI,
this.
like,
I want to hear the
like,
genius CEO. Tell me.
this is the headline. The quote in the headline: "Quote: Creativity is the new productivity." Bob Iger on why Disney chose to be aggressive at an OpenAI.
Creativity is the new.
I just want you to think
Shut
about
up, Bob.
that. Like, just
Yeah.
think about creativity is the new productivity. What does that mean? What
Nothing.
is he saying with that? To
Well, this is the-
justify spending $1 billion on OpenAI on his
This
way
is-
out the door, mind you.
This is the problem with Bob in general, and this is why he shouldn't have come back this last time. Because I think all of this is just exposing that Bob has always been a nothing. He was good at a time, but he clearly can't lead this company into the future. He has no idea what he's doing. He can't even doesn't even know how to succeed himself. But can I tell you where I think all this could end up with having this Ken doll Bob Iger running the company? Is that you got to wonder if Trump doesn't let Netflix buy Warner Brothers. Are they gonna? Is Netflix gonna swoop in and just like buy like Disney or something? Or is Apple gonna buy Disney?
I saw.
Is that what Bob Iger is really doing? Is he kind of just like destroying the value of this company, kind of because he's just kind of he's just kind of like an old smiling man, and he just says dumb things.
Old smiling man,
right? Like they still rely on parks and cruises, and it's like they're kind of like they're becoming this legacy media company.
Wait,
right?
We're making America great again. That means going back to 1983 when
Right.
everything was great, and that's cruises and parks and linear
sure.
TV, right?
And the only future facing forward things that Disney does is like make TV shows about people who seem smart, like right, like Star Wars. Or,
I did like the Star Wars. What were the Andor? I like the.
I'm just
those
saying,
were
like,
good.
but the company itself is still selling like rides on cruise ships, like
Yes, it is.
yeah.
But look,
Anyway.
you don't understand because creativity is the new
Creativity is
productivity.
the new productivity.
I just think people
I don't know what that is. I don't know
Well,
what
you
that
put
is.
a microphone in someone's face all the time and take what they say as gospel. Like as
dope.
Iger's been around for a long time in the industry. Now everybody like when he says stuff, people are I guess paying attention. You say mushmouthy nothing burgers, right?
Dope.
Like is that supposed to be wisdom? Or do we just take
I don't
wisdom from that?
I don't think Bob
know.
should have come back this last time.
What's
I think
your number
it's
for
ruining
this?
his legacy? I'll just give it a 7 for chuckles.
All right, so then the clear winner in just saying asshole of the week is Alex Karp.
Yeah, because really he is.
Legalizing war crimes.
Because forget about like Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Jensen Wing. I mean, the true CEO we should be listening the most to, unfortunately, is Alex Karp. He really is the sort of the embodiment of our current CEO culture, right? Like, isn't
Yeah,
he?
there was
Because it's all bullshit and violence. That's what he is. It's right because he's pretending to be against this and that, but really he just likes killing people and making money, right? I mean, isn't that all he is?
I'm not going to argue with that.
All
Let's
right,
go.
can we move
Let's
on?
go to headlines, winners, predictions.
Alex Karp. Ugh,
Ugh, I'm tired now.
good. So we can finish this up. It made my headlines of the week even easier. I have one simple story, and I'm going to play the game right. Just read the headline. Woman hailed as hero for smashing man's Meta smart glasses on subway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. I like that.
That says it all, yeah.
I have two, and I'm also going to play the game right. I'm going to read them.
Go ahead.
Verbatim. Here's the first one. When David Ellison was 13, his billionaire father Larry
Ugh.
bought him a plane.
Really?
He competed in air shows before leaving it to become a Hollywood executive.
Can you can pilot a plane that young? He had
I
a
have no
plane who's
idea.
13?
I just like that, like the guy who is supposed to be the businessman taking over Warner.
How is he
Brothers.
running a media
Daddy
company?
bought him a plane when he was 13.
How does he have the this is ridiculous. Yeah, go
Here's
ahead.
the better one though. Project to resurrect dead grandmas sparks controversy.
This is pure. You were talking about, weren't you? I think it was this show actually, talking about science fiction and dystopian novels. This is pure Philip K. Dick. I don't know if you ever read Philip K. Dick, but that's what. And this is in the 50s that Philip K. Dick would write, and he was basically addled on speed. I mean, he was like a major speed freak. But this is all he'd ever talk about is like he'd come up with these crazy stories of like, keeping people alive in the afterworld through the technological advances, and we're here. We're now resurrecting dead grandmas through technology. It's all a dystopian mess, right? It's craziness.
You know what? My grandmother wouldn't care one way or the other because she's dead.
Well, she's dead,
So
yeah.
I guess it's fine. Who won the week?
I added this after you, but I had already thought of it. I'm not just saying this because you said it, but we have a double winner this week, and mine was Miami shareholders.
Oh, shareholders.
Yeah, well, Miami residents and voters.
Oh, yeah. I had Miami,
right?
who got a incredibly overqualified mayor running against that nepotism.
How did this happen?
I don't know.
This is the
but
city. This is the symbol city of Trump bro power, right? Everyone
I'm fine with
threatens
it.
to leave the Democrats and the leftists and the wokes behind. They
Yeah,
leave
where's
New
the-
York. Ken Griffin leaves Chicago. They go to Miami. How did this happen?
Where are the breathless stories about how everyone's going to leave Miami?
Yeah, now
because
where are
of-
they going to
because of the
go? We got Mamdani in New York. What are we going? Where are they
You
going
know
to go?
where they're going to go? They're going to go to what's his name, Balaji.
Oh, right. Balaji-stan or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to go to his country, his new country.
Congratulations, Miami! Amazing.
You got a prediction?
Yeah, Lululemon still picks a man.
Oh, that's a sad prediction. That's just sad. All right, here's
Yeah.
my prediction, and let's get out of here. After reading
Uh-oh.
this headline, Cracker Barrel stock drops after hours as chain reports losses from, quote, unique and ongoing headwinds. I predict that Robbie Starbuck renames himself Unique and Ongoing Headwind Starbuck.
Oh, kind of like Prince. How Prince used to rename himself.
I mean, like, doesn't he want to call himself the most unique and ongoing headwinds right now?
Yeah, I mean he really is, right?
That moron.
He's probably pissed that he wasn't the first one to complain about that Cracker Barrel sign.
I know, he lost in that race. That's all we got. That's Hazelnut Rollins.
That's a lot.
That's Matt Muscardi. We are free float. Next week is maybe our last week of shows before the holidays. We might get another show in the Tuesday after. But there is a big crossover episode between Shareholder Primacy next week and
Yes.
Proxy Countdown next week. We're going to get it on both channels, so go listen to that. And go get your data at freeflowanalytics.com because there is more coming. The scorecards are super cool. They're doing stuff. They're not live yet. We're getting a preview, but it's coming. Until then, good.